Hi guys, it's Lilyharvord again. Peace. I'm so happy because I bought this brand new dress that makes me very, very happy. Alright, so as I promised, here is the Catching Fire video. Finally, it took me long enough to figure out that I had to make it. But so, right behind me, that you can see, is Catching Fire. And yes, I am in front of the same bookcase, and yes, my friend Elizabeth is still filming, because she's an awesome friend, and I love her so much. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Thank you. The viewers, thank you, and I thank you. Enough with the dumb, sappy speeches. Alright, moving on to the actual point that why I made this video. Right here, the book behind me. The second book in the, what's it called when there's 3 books? The trilogy. Yeah, the second book in the Hunger Games trilogy, Catching Fire. Okay, so, let's just start out with the fact that, yes, the Hunger Games are over. Yes, Katniss is back in District 12. Yes, she is very rich. Yes, her life is awesome. And yes, something bad is going to happen. Obviously. So, we began in it's in quarters, so it's the 75th Hunger Games. Which means that it's the quarter quell! So there's supposed to be a party blower there, but I couldn't find one. So, and there's supposed to be like confetti in there. Yay for the quarter quell! But not such a big yay, because Katniss, as we all know from the last book, the Capitol is not very pleased with Katniss at the moment. Her little charade she played with the berries. So, they decided they were going to rig the quarter quell. Now, the quarter quell is they pull a card out of this box, and on the card is what will be happening. Well, President Snow pulls the card out and says, all tributes that have won will come back in and play the quarter quell. So, pretty much, it's between Katniss, Haymitch, and Peeta. Go figure, Haymitch goes, I volunteer, and Katniss goes, hell no, man, I'm going in, it's gonna be me, I have to die. And then Peeta, Katniss, I won't let you go alone. Okay, Peeta. It's like, okay, alright. So they end up all training together, and then they end up being Katniss and Peeta, getting drawn again. They get into the train, whisk away to the Capitol. And Katniss and Peeta end up watching Haymitch's quarter quell, in which we find out Haymitch won the quarter quell, which allowed him to become victor. We find out he had an axe thrown at his head. He found out about this barrier shield that surrounds the arena. And because we remember, remember Peeta in the first book telling Katniss that there's a shield around the training roof, which is why they can't jump off and commit suicide, which I'm sure half or 3/4 or about all of them want to do. So we find out that that also surrounds the arena, and Haymitch used that to his advantage in his games, which is why when this girl throws an axe, it misses his head, bounces back, and cuts her head off. And with that lovely scene, we will now continue with the review of the book. So, they get to the Capitol, do the whole thing with the stylist and the interviews and all that, and Katniss dresses up in this wedding dress that Cinna made for her, and she spins around in it, and she becomes a Mockingjay. No, she does not become an actual bird. I thought about that for a second. The description in that part was not very good. She does not become an actual bird. Don't worry about that. That'd be really, really, really creepy. You know, fly away. I'm free! No, you're not. The dress looks like a Mockingjay, is what I mean. Everyone goes, and, yeah, so then they go into the arena. She gets in her little tube. It's not going up. So she's like, oh, there's a malfunction. You know, they'll fix it. These guys come in and beat the crap out of Cinna. I'm not kidding. Just, like, in front of her, just this poor guy, and I'm like, oh my god. And it's all because he made a dress. What happened to freedom of speech here? Hello, the Constitution has an amendment that states we have a freedom of speech, right to bear arms, and all that crap. I guess the Constitution doesn't exist anymore, but if it did, that would be against his rights, and therefore those people are in lots of trouble. I don't know what happens if you don't do what the Constitution says. I think bad stuff happens to you. You probably go to jail. Probably do some community service hours. But, so Cinna died. We assume that Cinna dies, which is really sad because he was my favorite character other than Rue, which technically means in the next movie all the black people have died, and I don't think that's going to be a very good It's not gonna go over very well in the box office. But so, pretty much that happens, and so she goes up in the arena, and we figure out that it's a big, they give her this weirdo suit. It's like this, like, squishy, like, slippy material with, like, floaties. And she's like, oh, what's this for? And then they go up, and before the part 2, the last sentence is, but this was no place for a girl on fire. It's like, oh god. Suzanne Collins, please, for the sake of everyone in the universe, in the galaxy, in the dimension, in this universe, write a good ending. Please, for once in your life. We beg you. We go on our dang knees and cry because you can't end a book. Okay, I'm done yelling at her. Now, so then the next chapter we find out that the whole arena is pretty much an ocean. How they're gonna fight in it, we don't know. Then we find out there's little islands here and there, and they're like this little circle with a bunch of stuff around it. Like, the cornucopia is on a little island. And so yeah. And all the tributes are on little discs in the middle of the ocean. How? I don't really know. How do you envision that? I don't know. But so, a gong sounds, they get off, they swim. She gets bows and arrows finally. It's funny because in the first book, she had to take them off Glimmer's decapitating body. But in this, she just had to grab them. Okay. I thought it was going to be harder. You know, someone would grab them for her or something. Like in the last book. But, what ends up happening is she ends up teaming up with this guy named Finnick. Oh, Finnick. If anyone asks me if I'm Team Peter or Team Gale, I look at them and I go, I'm Team Finnick. But, so, Team Finnick, all the way. And so Finnick is this guy, and he's from District 4, right? He's from District 4, right? Yeah, he's District 4. Uh-huh. So he's from District 4, which is like ocean fishing district. And so he's really good at swimming, and he helps her carry his other tribute, which is this person named Mags. She's really old. She's like 70. Keep in mind these people, these tributes are like 70, 80, really old people. And then you have the young ones like Katniss and Peeta and Finnick. And so they escape off to the island. And what ends up happening is all these weird things happen. Like this mysterious fog comes, and Mags ends up going into it, and she ends up dying because it's like poisonous or something, I think. And then we find out that we meet these people called Nut and Volt. We don't really know their real names, I don't think. We just know them as Nut and Volt. And they're these two, like, brainiacs from District. I think it was either one... Wait. It was either one or... It was the, like, computer district. The ones that made mechanics. And so, they're from there, and... They're like... One of them goes tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. And that's, like, our first foreshadowing moment. And pretty much... we find out that the whole arena is like a clock. Like, things happen on a clock. Like, during 1 hour, like, there's the mysterious fog on this part of the arena. During the next hour, it's in another place, so on and so forth, through the clock. And then, yeah. And pretty much the same stuff happens. They find out that they find the barrier, and they decide they're going to rig this barrier and blow it up. They're going to blow up the arena, pretty much. So they rig the thing... Everything's good. Everything's good. They blow up the arena. That's like the end of the chapter. It blows up, and this is pretty much like the end of the book now. It blows up, and there's a bunch of hovercrafts raiding with bombs, and they start bombing it. And then Haymitch shows up in a hovercraft. Don't ask me how he got it. He probably was like drunk and like kicked the guy out. Was like, "Hello, excuse me, I'm just gonna borrow this car, sir. Are you sure you should be driving when you're drunk?" "No, but I can drive." And he just flies over, picks him up. Gets him out. Well, they lose Peeta. How you lose a person, I don't know. But they lost him. Peeta's gone. And Katniss doesn't realize it because she's gone insane already. She's lost it. Pretty much. And so, they're flying away. The last part of the book is her pretty much reviving. And then, in the end, Gale goes, "Katniss, there is no District 12. And we're like, oh, great, they bombed District 12. Like, my first thought was, wait, what about Prim and her mom? And then it's like, psh, they won't kill them off. Psh. There's, like, main characters. Why would you kill them off already? So, yeah, that's pretty much Catching Fire. I mean, it's the whole book. It was... A lot of people would look at you... look at this book different ways. I mean, I look at it as more like a 6. On like my scale, I give it a 6, a 7, very maybe an 8. It's inching like ever so slightly towards a 7, and going to an 8 is like almost impossible. It'd be a giant leap. But some people look at this book and they say, oh, it's amazing, and then some people look at Mockingjay and they're like, it's terrible. And then some people look at Mockingjay and go, it's amazing, and some people look at Catching Fire and say Catching Fire is terrible. If you ask me, I'm the person that goes, Hunger Games was amazing. Catching Fire was eh. Mockingjay was boom, crash, die, everything ruined thing. If you want, you can click and watch my Mockingjay review. I recommend it. It's probably the most entertaining thing you'll watch all night. But so, that's pretty much Catching Fire, and I mean, the book is a 6, 6.5, maybe a 7, not really an 8. It's a 6.5, I guess. And it's got good action in it. It's entertaining, to say the least. You'll read it. You'll sort of like it. The beginning's slow. I'll give it that. The beginning's so slow. Because they're not really doing anything. They're like complaining about their lives and stuff. That's like the beginning of the book. And you're like, oh, this is going to be terrible. Then they finally get in the arena and it picks up. There are a few surprise twists and turns, I'll give it that, and kept me on the edge of my seat a little bit, kept me on my toes, but other than that, it was just, it was okay. It was the kind of book where you'd read it once and you'd like it, you read it again and you can't stand it. But, so, yeah, that's Catching Fire. I don't really know what my next book review is going to be about. I haven't decided. I don't really know. My brothers want me to review some random thing that they've read. I'm sure I might review Alex Rider, maybe Maximum Ride, since I just read Maximum Ride. So yeah, I mean, just continue for my channel. If you want to subscribe, click that little button down there that says subscribe. If you want to watch more of my videos, I'm planning on doing stuff other than movie reviews and book reviews soon, as soon as I can figure out what I'm going to do other than that. Entertaining, to say the least. Watch me, like, do something stupid. But, so, anyway, enjoy whatever I have left to say, and that's pretty much it. So, have a nice day. Yeah, have a nice day. Night, wherever you are in the world. Anyway, so, goodbye. Love you.